What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the cheapest Xbox controller that has back buttons. Now, if you're an Xbox user or a PC user, then you're probably familiar with this. This is just a standard Xbox controller. Now, this launched with the Series X and Series S, and a couple upgrades that they did over the One. You get a slightly different D-pad, but other than that, the buttons, triggers, all that stuff pretty much feels the same. Now, when most people get an Xbox or they're playing on PC and they have a standard controller, they're probably playing with something like this. It's wireless, it's basic, and it doesn't have any extra frills or thrills. But the biggest thing is that there's no extra back buttons on these things. Now, Microsoft did take it upon themselves to create one of the most popular and best-selling Pro controllers of all time for the Xbox as well as PC, which is the Elite Series controllers. They had a first iteration, and the current version, which is the Elite Series 2, sells for $180 and is quite possibly one of the best-selling Pro controllers for Xbox and PC. Now, when you buy something like that, you get adjustable thumbsticks, swappable D-pad options, trigger locks. But what most people want when they look at a Pro controller is back buttons. Now, the Elite Series 2 comes with 4 paddles, but you can actually run it with as many paddles as you want. So you can even just have 1 on there, you can have 2, you can have all 4. It's really up to you. But again, with a price tag of $180, that can be quite a difficult pill to swallow if you just want to play games and you want to be a little bit better at first-person shooters, or just have some modularity in your controller to have a few extra buttons mapped to the back. So if you can't drop $100, $150, $200 on a Pro controller, what are you left to do? That's what this video is about. I have found the cheapest Xbox controller that has back buttons and doesn't have terrible reviews. Enter the PowerA enhanced wired Xbox controller. Now, PowerA is known for making very versatile and very popular controllers at an affordable budget, but the reason that this one is making the cut for today's video of the cheapest Xbox controller is that this thing has 2 back buttons and can be found on Amazon for under $20. Now, I purchased this bad boy for $19.99, but by the time this video comes out, it's probably going to be in the $20 to $25 price point and is color dependent, hence the purple controller. So this purple variant was the cheapest, but this controller comes in a ton of different colors and designs, and I think the most expensive that you'll find is right around $40. What really makes this controller unique is that for right around that $20 to $25 price point, you get 2 on-the-fly remappable buttons, as well as a headset volume control and a mic mute button on the front. And did I mention this is an officially licensed Xbox controller, which means that PowerA is just not out here slinging controllers on the black market. They actually had to go through an approval process with Microsoft and Xbox to get this controller officially licensed. And usually what that means is that the controller's functions work, and they work well. But when you talk about these sub $20 controllers for Xbox, most of the time you're getting something that's big, chonky, and it just feels horrible.
That's what she said.
But the best part is, I mean, when you look at the PowerA versus the standard Microsoft Xbox controller, they're nearly identical when it comes to their ergonomics and how they feel in the hand. Now, I will say off the bat, the PowerA is dramatically lighter than the standard Xbox controller, and you'll notice that immediately upon picking it up. And what that means is that it kind of feels a little bit like it might be a $20 to $30 controller until you start to actually use it. When you're just messing with it, you'll notice bumpers are actually pretty clicky. Triggers are kind of where you'll start to see that $20 to $30 controller quality, because if you've ever used one of these new Xbox controllers, these triggers are actually pretty rad. But again, the standard Xbox controllers go for about $40 to $50, whereas you can get most colors of this for right around $20 to $25. Joysticks feel really good. I feel no difference between these and the Xbox controller. And even this kind of metallic D-pad, and even though it's not the disc style that I tend to prefer on the standard Xbox controller, it's still very tactile, nice and clicky, not mushy at all. And what's even better is that these face buttons are actually pretty good. I would even say these are better than the Xbox controller, because on the Xbox controller you get these loud, like, blue switch sounding mushiness that just doesn't sound good, doesn't feel great. And when you're playing, all people are going to hear is clicking of these buttons, even more so than like a Pro controller with mechanical buttons. But on this one, you get nice responsive buttons that aren't super loud and they're not super flimsy. And again, it feels great in the hands. Back buttons are at a great location as well, very easy to hit. And this whole faceplate is kind of this like matte rubberized smooth feeling coating, which does make it feel a little bit more premium. But still, I think for me, the biggest gripe that I have is that right out of the box, this thing is so lightweight. lightweight. It just feels kind of like a toy. Now you also get your standard 3.5mm audio jack, but what you do get here also is you get a headset volume control, so you can go volume up, volume down, and if you press in when this is plugged in, that'll turn red and it'll mute you. And that's honestly a feature that I think all controllers should come standard with. But some other great features of this controller is that it comes with a 2-year warranty. So again, you spend $20 for a wired controller and it comes with a pretty good 2-year warranty. Now, as I mentioned, this is a wired controller, so they do include a 10-foot non-braided, just standard cable. Now, this is micro USB, and the port on the back of the controller looks pretty universal, so if you lose this cord or it breaks or something, it looks like you could fit most micro USB cables in here. Unlike with some companies like Razer, for example, where on this Razer Wolverine Ultimate, it has a proprietary fitting for this micro USB, and it's almost impossible for you to get a standard micro USB cable in there because it has these ridges that the cord has to slide through. So if you damage the cord for this bad boy, pretty much your only option is to go to Razer and get a replacement. So it's nice that on this one, it looks like you can just use any run-of-the-mill micro USB if this one craps out. But I think the biggest question that most people have with this controller is how good is it? How reliable is it? And in my honest opinion, if you check reviews online, it's about as reliable as you would expect a $20 controller to be. Most reviews state that after about 6 months to a year, they've had issues with buttons not feeling the right way or not responding the right way. But when I dig deeper into some of those, they've actually been contacted by PowerA on these larger sites like Amazon and Best Buy, Target, and they've actually been able to get their controller fixed or replaced for free because it's under warranty. So again, that 2-year warranty is kind of special, especially for this controller. But in terms of how it feels and how it performs in game, man, it feels really good. It feels like you're playing with a regular run-of-the-mill Xbox controller that just so happens to have back buttons. And I'll tell you right now, this mic mute button is clutch. Again, I love that feature on controllers, and I think honestly all pro controllers should have that because it's just so convenient. Now, as this is an officially licensed Xbox product, this is going to work on Series S, Series X, and Xbox One, as well as on PC if you're running Windows 10 or 11. If you're somehow an individual who's running something older than Windows 10, first of all, get a life, and then second of all, upgrade to Windows 10, then you can rock this controller. Now, does this $20 controller have any software that it comes with? No, it doesn't, because you don't need to, because it has this lovely button right on the back of the controller that basically in-game, not in-game, whatever, as long as it's plugged in, all you have to do is press and hold it, putting it into that function mode, and then just map whatever button you want. And then to lock it in, you just have to press whichever back button you desire. But the other thing too is that you're not really limited on what kind of button you can put on the back. You can use the triggers, the bumper, the thumbsticks, D-pad, face buttons, whatever. You just can't touch the Xbox button or any of these like share menu buttons. But still, that's a very nice feature, as even some custom controller manufacturers send it to you locked in with A and B on the back and you can't even change it. So definitely a very nice feature to have on the fly back button remapping. So what's my honest opinion of this controller? I think it's absolutely fantastic. It plays just like an Xbox controller. You get the back buttons, you also get the added mute button on the front, and you get all of that for $20. This is quite possibly one of the best deals when it comes to Xbox or PC controllers, and the only information that I can't give to you, simply because I haven't had this controller longer than a few days, is longevity. But the nice thing is, under that 2-year warranty, if you have any major issues, you could probably just contact PowerA and they can get it fixed or replaced. But the other thing too is that if you wanted to use Control Freaks, it fits just the standard Xbox ones very well. So all in all, I mean, if you're looking for a controller or your wireless one just isn't getting the job done for you, you want some extra back buttons, definitely check out the PowerA Enhanced wired controller, as it's honestly a pretty good deal, especially if you shop around like on Amazon and you go for a few different colors. Like myself, you could be getting this bad boy for $19.99. But that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, drop me one of these. I'd really appreciate it. And let me know down in the comments below what your favorite controller is to use on Xbox or PC. And speaking of liking the video, if you like today's video and other content that I've been putting out, make sure and hit that subscribe button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, I mean, like, why do I even like make these videos anymore? Like, what are you doing? Thanks for tuning in, guys. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy. Peace.